No one's asking why. The world keeps spinning, no one seems to care. Lost in the noise, a silent prayer. Does anyone out there even hear the cry? I'm just a voice in the wind, but I keep on screaming 'cause someone's missing. I won't stop dreaming.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great morning. Thank you all for joining me. Hey, Stormy, wisdom, pigtails, and premenopause. I love that. Good morning, Tater. Does it sound okay so far? Everything okay? Yep, wisdom serving some bacon and some donuts and cake and coffee. Spanky, you better behave. That band button's so easy. We have who else we got here? Well, Spanky's just all over this chat. We have Mikey. Thank you for joining me, Mikey. Tree Nut, Jiggly Masterpiece. Love that name. Lippy Chicken, Wild Hair. We all have one of those from time to time. Duolingio's Kid. Okay, thank you for joining us. Wild Hair again. Lynn, thank you for joining me. Jody Walters. Thank you, Jody. Thanks for coming in this morning. Cherokee Cherry. Everybody better behave. Nita P. Nita P. That's cute. I like that name too. Welcome, Toe Jamie. What kind of toe is that there, Jamie? Or should I ask? Never mind. Jolly Molly, thank you for joining us. The Landers, Mario Games, Time Elizabeth, thank you. Suitcase Sammy, +1, Bad, Lucy Goosey. I love these names, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. The Second Coming, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Critical Consideration, Stan Man. I'm going to start calling you Stan the Man. All right. I won't make this like a long greeting to everyone. I'm sure people will come in and out as we go. So I will just jump right on here into this. And then let's just do this. Do this thing. Does it look okay so far, guys? I think you guys can see that. Okay. Okay, we have Alexis Ellis. Alexis Ellis is missing from Las Vegas, Nevada. Alexis was released from the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada on November 20th, 2024. She told her probation officer she was heading to Mesquite, Nevada, but never arrived. On November 24th, she texted her grandmother saying she found a place to live but didn't share the location. Since then, there has been no contact at all and no attempts to reach her have been successful, leaving her family concerned. As you can see here, Alexis is 35 years old. She's 5'5" and 160 pounds. If you have any information about her or you think you may see her, please contact the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at 702-828-3111. Next, we have Sarah Graham. Sarah Graham is missing from North Carolina, last seen February 4th, 2015. At that time, she was 18 years old, 5'4", and 160 pounds. Graham was last seen in Fairmont, North Carolina on February 4th, 2015. She left her home on the 4,000th block of Centerville Church Road at approximately 6:30 a.m. to report to her shift as a cashier and door greeter at the Walmart in Pembroke. She was scheduled to begin work at 7 a.m., but never arrived and has not been heard from since. At the time of her disappearance, Graham was driving a white Chevy van registered to her father. Later that same day, the van was discovered locked and abandoned in a wheat field off East McDonald Road between Chicken Road and Centerville Church Road. It was parked several feet from the roadway, and there were no signs of a struggle. Graham is a Native American woman with brown hair and brown eyes. She wears eyeglasses, has pierced ears, and has braces on her teeth and the and has braces on her teeth at the time of her disappearance. She is a member of the Lumbee tribe. Once again, she was 18 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'4", 160 pounds, and I believe this may be an up, maybe an age progressed photo, or maybe that's just a second photo there of what she may look like. If you have any information about Sarah, please contact their county sheriff at 910-671-3100. Good morning, SRB. Thanks for joining us. Next, we have Emily Hoyt. Emily Hoyt is missing from Highland Beach, Florida. She was last seen December 1st, 2005. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'6" and 110 pounds. Notice that she has this tattoo on her right shoulder, or like her right arm, I guess right there on her shoulder. The details of hers is Hoyt was last seen in Highland Beach, Florida in December 2005. She had contacted her brother in Oregon, informing him that she had mailed a Christmas present and requested that he call her upon its arrival. When her brother attempted to return the call, he received a message from her boyfriend who stated that he had asked her to leave his residence and had taken possession of her phone, which he had been paying for. The boyfriend claimed he believed Hoyt had gone to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and at the time of her disappearance, Hoyt did not have a car, credit cards, or much money. Hoyt's family, residing in Kansas, Missouri, and Oregon, reached out to Florida authorities after waiting several weeks without contact. However, the police initially declined to file a missing persons report. Mm. However, the police initially declined to file a missing persons report, citing a lack of evidence suggesting Hoyt was in danger. It took nearly 18 months before authorities agreed to list her as a missing person. Little evidence is available as to her fate, but since she was last seen, her social security number has not been used. Mm. If you have any information about Emily, please contact the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, and when you do, be firm. And please call 561-688-3000. Mark Seelman is missing from Rome, New York. Last seen June 8th, 1990. He was 16 years old at the time of his disappearance, 6 foot tall and 160 pounds. Please take a look at his age progressed photo there, the small photo. It looks like he was last seen at DJ's Bar, located in the 6400th block of Martin Street in Rome, New York, on June 8th, 1990. He disappeared along with his 18-year-old co-worker, Douglas Goodwin. Mark's loved ones believe that he left behind all of his personal belongings. In 2001, an individual using Mark's name and his social security number were located in Missouri. However, I'm going to stutter today. However, authorities determined that the person was not Mark and had stolen his identity. Since then, there have been no significant leads in this case. If you have any information about Mark, please contact the New York State Police at 315-366-6000. This is the Douglas Goodwin that Mark Seelman here was with, and I'm going to go ahead and go over him. The story's going to be the same, but I still want to give you the details of him. He was also missing from Rome, New York, last seen June 8th, 1990. 18 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'10" and 160 pounds. Please take a good look at the age progressed photo and see if you may know this guy. I mean, you may see him. No one ever really knows, but if you do, or you think you do, please contact the New York State Police, 315-366-6000. We have Rena Smith. She's missing from Chicago, Illinois. January 7th, 2025 was the last time she was seen. She is 63 years old, 5'5" and 195 pounds. Rena Smith was last seen on that day near Stroger Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. Rena may be in need of medical attention. If you have any information about Rena, please contact the Chicago Police Department at 312-747-8380. Good morning, Peggy. Thank you for joining us. If I missed anyone, I apologize. It's hard to keep track with chat and and to read these off, so I'll try. Nicholas was found safe, thank goodness. I love the found safe. We have Sophie Reeder. She's missing from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Last seen May 20th, 2017. She was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. She's 5'1", 120 pounds. Sophie was last seen in Fort Lauderdale on May 20th, 2017. Surveillance footage captured her walking alone with Davy Boulevard near in the Brightline tracks heading east past a business located between 100 and 400 blocks of West Davy Boulevard. She left all of her personal belongings behind. That night, Sophie walked to an apartment in Fort Lauderdale where 37-year-old Leonard J. Jennings was staying with family. Records indicate that Jennings' phone number was the one she frequently contacted. Jennings and his two brothers were questioned in connection with Sophie's disappearance, but all three denied knowing, seeing, or communicating with her. Evidence recovered from Sophie's computer suggests she may have been targeted by a human trafficker or an online predator. Investigators discovered that she had visited websites dedicated to connecting with sugar daddies. Her case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. Now, I did not read that for anyone that's listening right now to judge her in any way she is missing. This is not to judge her. Whatever she looked up is her business. We are here to try to bring her home. So again, Sophie Reeder, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Last seen May 20th, 2017. She's 15 at the time. She was 15 years old, 5'1" and 120 pounds. If you have any information about Sophie, please contact their police department at 954-828-5700. This is Ruthie Smith. Ruthie Smith is missing from Los Angeles, California. She was last seen March 2nd, 2022. She was 19 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'6", and she weighed 152 pounds. Nice to see you, Fox. Thanks for joining me. Smith was last seen on March 2nd, 2022, near the 69th Street of, I'm going to mess that up, Figueroa in Los Angeles, California. According to her family, she has been engaged in sex work as a means of gaining financial independence and providing for her daughter. During a visit to her family's home in Long Beach, California on Christmas Day in 2021, she opened up about her situation. Concerned for her well-being, her family sought support from Gems Uncovered, a Long Beach nonprofit that assists individuals affected by sexual exploitation. Despite these efforts, Smith continued in sex work. In the days leading up to her disappearance, she expressed a desire to leave the industry and shared concerns that she was at risk of being harmed. Again, this is not to judge her. This has nothing to do with her life choices. We are only here to report that she is missing. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 19 years old, 5'6", 152 pounds. If you have any information, please contact their police department at 562-435-6711. This is William. William is missing from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Last seen January 26, 2017. He was 20 years old at the time of his disappearance, 6'1" and 198 pounds. Says he was last seen in the 600th block of Main Street in southeast Minneapolis, Minnesota on January 26, 2017. He has not been heard from since. He is an African American male with brown hair and brown eyes. He has several distinguishing tattoos, including the name Zoe in the black script on the inside of his left forearm, the astrological symbol for Leo in black ink on the left side of his chest, an outline of the state of Minnesota on the inside of his right forearm, and the phrase self-made on his right upper arm. If you have any information about William, please contact the Minneapolis Police Department at 612-673-5705. Elaine was found safe. Thank you for joining us, Dago. It's nice to see you this morning. We have Deborah McKenna. Deborah McKenna is missing from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Last seen January 14th, 1986. She was 24 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'2", and she weighed 130 pounds. McKenna was last seen in Elizabeth, New Jersey on January 14th, 1986. She has never been heard from again. If you have any information about Deborah, please contact the Elizabeth Police Department at 908-558-2000. Next, we have Bryden Ropp. Bryden is missing from New London, Ohio, age 17. He was last seen December 19th, 2024. Braden Allen was last seen in New London, Ohio on December 19th. No other details have been provided. It looks, yeah, they don't even give eye color or anything on this one. But if you have any information about Bryden, please contact their county sheriff's office at 419-663-2828. Rest in peace, Marcus. Heaven was found safe. Erica Ramirez is missing from Prattville, Alabama. Last seen January 30th, 2025. She was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance. Eric was last seen wearing a brown sweater and black pants early yesterday morning. If you have any information about Erica, please contact the Prattville Police Department at 334-595-0208. Located Adriana Davis. Excellent. Great. Sharon was found. Oh, wonderful. Located. Found safe. This is good. I love this. Alyssa Armstrong. Alyssa Armstrong is missing from Oakland, California. She was last seen May 21st, 2024. She was 34 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'2", and weighed 145 pounds. Alyssa last spoke to family on May of 2024. Her last known location was in February of 24. If you have any information about Alyssa, please contact the Oakland Police Department at 510-238-3641. Christopher was found safe. Rest in peace, Kenny. Found safe. Excellent. Found safe. Joseph Grasher is missing from Manhattan, Kansas. Last seen August 22nd, 1981. He was 21 at the time of his disappearance. Grasher was last seen in Manhattan, Kansas on August 22nd. He departed from a birthday party in the 1000th block of Ponitz Avenue, accompanied by Stephen Hermeli. The two left in a red van with a group of people. Neither him nor Grasher has ever been seen or heard from again. If you have any information about Joseph, please contact the Riley County Police. Let's try again. Riley County Police Department, 785-537-2112. We have Stephen. Stephen is missing. This is the other one. Stephen missing, also missing from Manhattan, Kansas. Last seen August 22nd, 1981. He was 26 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'10", and he weighed 165 pounds at that time. He was last seen, it's the same story as this guy, so I guess they were both together. Any information about either of those, please contact the County Police Department at 785-537-2112. David Alford is missing. He is missing from Boise, Idaho, last seen August 24th, 2014, age 36 at the time of his disappearance. He was 5'8" and 140 pounds at that time. He was last seen in Boise, Idaho, hitchhiking near the interstate, carrying a cardboard sign with Arizona written on one side and Utah on the other. He has not been heard from since. Alford did not own a vehicle and typically maintained regular contact with his family through the internet, particularly around the Christmas holidays. However, following his disappearance in August, his relatives received no further communication from him. A significant development in the case occurred in July of 2022 when firefighters battling the dragon fire in the Grand Canyon area of Arizona discovered his backpack. The bag contained his identification, his personal belongings, and despite any extensive search covering approximately 370 acres, no further evidence of his whereabouts were found. If you have any information about David, please contact the Boise Police Department at 208 570 6000. We have Judith Brown. I think we all know we're a little familiar, but I'm going to read this one again. Judith Brown's missing from Queens, New York. She was last seen April 6, 1977. She was 19 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was 5'3" and 120 pounds. Brown went missing with Richard E. Reisenberg, a patient at Creedmoor Psychiatric Center in Queens, New York, in the April of 77. Brown had been admitted to Creedmoor in August 1976 and met Rosenberg near her brief stay. They began a relationship, and by January of 77, as Brown transitioned to outpatient care at Hillside Medical Center, Reisenberg proposed and she accepted. Reisenberg had a history of mental health challenges, including 2 suicide attempts in his youth and diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder with possible schizophrenia. In 1971, he tragically took the lives of his wife and their 17-month-old son and was later found not guilty by reason of insanity. After being admitted to Creedmoor, Reisenberg was allowed unauthorized day trips from the hospital using his late wife's life insurance money. Hmm. A recommendation for his transfer to a more secure facility was made, but before it could be carried out, he disappeared with Brown. A month later, Brown contacted her sister to reassure her that she was safe, but they were never seen or heard from again. If you have any information about Judith, please contact the New York Police Department at 212-694-7781. Lauren was found safe. That's great. Adeline Hernandez is missing from Westminster, Colorado. Yeah, Westminster, Colorado. Last seen January 13th, 2025. She was 16 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'2" and 120 pounds. She was last seen on January 13th around 4 p.m. in the 2700th block of West 136th Avenue. She was last seen wearing blue jeans and a green sweater. If you have any information about Adeline, please contact the Westminster Police Department at 303 658 4360. Kendra was found safe. Excellent. Missing Armani. She's missing from Detroit, Michigan. She's 14 years old, 5 foot tall, 115 pounds. She was last seen January 28th of this year. She left her residence without permission and failed to return. She was last seen wearing a white and pink shirt with flowers on it and blue jeans. If you have any information, please contact the Detroit Police Department at 313-596-1240. Justin Baker is missing from Roland, Oklahoma, last seen January 24th, 2025. He is 41 years old, 6'1" and 248 pounds. Justin, also known by the nicknames Baker and Bubba, was last seen at the Old Town Bar in Fort Smith around 2:30 a.m. on January 24th, 2025. He had gotten a ride home with a woman and a man. During the drive, the vehicle crashed near Pawpaw Cemetery in Mudrow and ended up in the Arkansas River. The other 2 passengers managed to swim to shore but lost track of Justin. At the time of the disappearance, Justin was wearing a blue plaid long sleeve shirt with pearl buttons. He has several tattoos, including his mother's name Kelly on his upper right arm, an angry sun with orange and blue flames on his right forearm, and an iron cross on his right wrist. James Frog Smith on his back, and a prayer on his right calf. If you have any information about Justin Baker, please contact the Oklahoma Highway Patrol at 918-683-3256. Next, we have Keyaslyn Martin from Cedartown, Georgia, last seen January 30th, 2025. She's 16 years old, 5'3", and she weighs 200 pounds. She was last seen in Cedartown, Georgia. She was last wearing a gray hoodie, black tank top, and black jeans. If you have any information about her, please contact the Cedartown Police Department or by calling 911. Julian Farley is missing from New York, last seen January 28th, 2025. She's 15 years old, 5'4", and she weighs 130 pounds. She was last seen on January at 10:51 a.m. on the 80 excuse me, 8300th block of Ridge Road in Sodus, New York. She was left in a white GMC terrain vehicle westbound on Ridge Road. She may travel to Rochester. I'm saying that wrong, I know. Rochester, New York area. Do you have any information about her? Please contact the New York State Police Department at 585-398-4100. Next, we have Rachel Brandon. Rachel's missing from Louisiana, last seen January 6, 2025, and she's 40 years old. Rachel was last seen at the Big Boss Travel Plaza in Livingston, traveling on foot. She was wearing a black beanie, a large puffy white and gray jacket, gray sweatpants, and pink Crocs. She was also carrying a large blue suitcase with red trim. If you have any information about Rachel, please contact LPSO at 225-686-2241. We have Marianne. She's missing from Hagerstown, last seen January 24th, 2025. She's 16 years old, 5 foot tall, and 130 pounds. She was last seen at Slate Way and was wearing a blue zip up hoodie and black shoes. If you have any information, please contact their police department at 240-313-4345. Here is Sal. Sal's missing from California. He is a year old. Arctic, do we know if he is found? I know I've seen some people say that he may have been found, but I'm not sure. I see you, Stormy. I can see you. Um, he may not know either because it's so hard to keep up with updates. Yes, he's adorable, SRB. I agree. He is absolutely adorable. Okay, thank you, Arctic. Okay, so yes, he's adorable. Absolutely, so cute. Saul is missing from California. He is 1 year old. 1 year old Saul disappeared with his mother, 26-year-old Antonia Rafael Velasquez, during an unsupervised visit. The child has been in Child Welfare Services custody since the summer of 24. At 1 p.m., CWS dropped Saul off at Antonio Rafael Napa residence for the visitation. When CWS workers returned at 4 p.m., Saul and his mother were gone. Officers at her residence observed the contents of the closet and they were all cleared out. Both mother and son are entered into the National Database for Missing Persons. If you think you see this beautiful baby Saul, please contact the Napa Police Department at 707-257-9223. He is absolutely adorable. Timothy was found safe. Casey found safe. Excellent. Alexis Ware is missing from Anderson, South Carolina. She's been missing since January 3rd, 2022. She is 32 years old, 5'5", and 215 pounds. 3 years ago today, Alexis Ware went missing. She has not been seen or heard from since. She was last seen on Highway 29 north in Anderson, South Carolina. She met with her children's father, TJ Patterson, at the 7-Eleven store to pick up their two children. The plan was for Ware to follow Patterson back to his mother's home, but she never arrived. He stated that at the red light, she went around him, drove away at a high rate of speed. When Patterson tried to call her, she didn't answer the phone. She's never been heard from again. If you have any information about Alexis, please contact the Anderson County Sheriff at 864-260-4400. I see you, Stormy. I don't know. I can see you, but you may have to go out and come back in. I have to do that a lot. We have Renee Williams. She was last seen March 13th, 2007 in Ava, Missouri. She was 37 years old at the time. She's 5'6" and 130 pounds. Williams was last seen at approximately 1:30 a.m. on March 13th, 2007 at the Eagles Lodge in Ava, Missouri. It might be Ava, but I think it's Ava. After placing the night's receipts in the safe, she called her boyfriend to say she was heading home, but never arrived. Her vehicle was found in the parking lot the next morning, with nothing missing from the lodge. In July 2009, Christopher E. Rivek was arrested and charged with second-degree murder in connection to her disappearance. Rivek, a periodic lodge patron, had no apparent personal connection to Williams. DNA evidence supported the charges. The day after his arrest, he died by suicide in a jail cell. Authorities suspect he was a serial killer and have linked him to 3 other murders across 2 states. Since Williams' disappearance, there has been no activity on her phone or financial accounts. She is described as a devoted mother who would not have abandoned her 4 children. That's heartbreaking. If you have any information about Renee Williams, please contact the Douglas County Sheriff at 417-250-2320. Next, we have Joshua Adams. He's missing from Jefferson, Georgia. Last seen May 20th of 2013. He was 25 years old at the time of his disappearance, 6'2", and he weighed 215 pounds. Adam was last seen in Jefferson, Georgia. That day, he left home in his white 2009 Chevy Malibu. Later that day, his car was found abandoned in a pasture near a pond on Brockton Loop Road. His phone, wallet, and identification were still inside. A neighbor reported the vehicle as an open fence on the property. On May 24th, Adam's shoes were found on the pond bank, a few hundred yards from his car. Authorities have searched the area with cadaver dogs and drained the pond and found no evidence. The phone records show that Adams called one man 5 times that day, but the individual denied speaking to him and refused to cooperate. Another man admitted to talking to Adams at 9 a.m., but wouldn't disclose their conversation. 2 weeks before his disappearance, Adam completed a 6-week drug rehabilitation program in Battle Creek, Michigan. His family said he had absolutely no history of leaving without warning. If you think may have seen Joshua, please contact the Jackson County Sheriff's Office at 706-367-6000. Katie was found safe. That's great. I'm so happy when I see the safe ones. Another, Courtney safe. We have missing Charles Cotton from Fort Smith, Arkansas. He was last seen January 28th of this year. He's 13 years old, 5'9", 120 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black shoes with pink tread. If you have any information about Charles, please contact the Fort Smith Police Department at 479-709-5000. Let me check the chat real quick here. I'm sure everything's fine. Did I miss anyone? Saying hello to anyone? I'm sorry if I missed anyone. I just can't. It's hard for me to watch chat and then read all these. Everything good? Okay, I'll continue. So we have Jessica Stacks. She's missing from New Albany, Mississippi. Last seen January 1st, 2021. She was 28 years old at the time of her disappearance, 5'5", and weighed 110 pounds. Stacks was last seen in Albany, Mississippi on January 1st, 2021. Her boyfriend, Jerry Wayne Baggett, was captured on surveillance video at 6 a.m. that morning purchasing gas, accompanied by a passenger he later claimed was Stacks. Baggett stated they borrowed a friend's boat that day, which had no oars or motor, and planned to float down the rain-swollen Little Tallahatchie River, steering with a shovel while hunting wild game. He said they launched the boat near a bridge on County Road 46 and that Stacks left her phone with a friend before the trip. As the boat began taking on water, Stacks allegedly asked to be let out. Baguette said he dropped her off on the north side of the river where she planned to walk through the flooded bottomland to Highway 30 about a mile away. She was never heard from or seen again. In February 2023, Baguette changed his story during an interview, stating he had not seen Stacks on January 1st and was working that day. He denied taking a boat on the river and claimed the last time he saw Stacks was several days prior. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna have to mute just for a minute because my dog is fixing to bark. Hang on, just give me just a second. All right, guys, I apologize. Okay, let me go right back. All right. She was never heard from again. Bagut changed his story during an interview, stating that he had not seen Stax on January 1st and was working that day. He denied taking the boat on the river and claimed the last time he saw her were several days prior to her disappearance. If you have any information about Jessica, please contact MBI at 662 486 1995. We have Heather. Heather is missing from North Dakota, last seen January 24th, 2025. She's 39 years old, 5'4", and she weighs 125 pounds. Heather is missing from her home in Linton, North Dakota. Since 11 a.m. on Friday, the 24th of January, the next day, her vehicle was found abandoned on Beaver Bay with the keys in the ignition. She may go by the last name Wagner, and she has ties to Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and North Carolina. She is described to have brown hair and blue eyes. Heather has two boys who need her, one of them who has special needs and requires constant care. It is completely out of character for her to leave them behind. If you have any information about Heather, please contact the Emmons County Sheriff at 701 254 4411. We have Randall. Randall is missing from St. John. He is 41 years old, 6'3" and 170 pounds. He was last seen January 27th, 2025, at his residence in the 10th in the 130th block of Whitney Pie in St. John. He left his home on foot in an unknown direction with no known destination. If you have any information about Randall, please contact the St. John Police Department at 219 365 6032. Laura Lee is missing from Santa Barbara, California, last seen January 9th, 2025. She is 35 years old, 5'3", and 220 pounds. Laura Lee was last seen with her husband in Santa Barbara, California on January 9th. She was approximately 7 to 8 weeks pregnant at the time. Her husband is currently in jail for domestic violence. Laura was last seen wearing black shorts, a maroon hoodie, and black polo shoes. If you have any information about Laura, please contact the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department at 805 683 2724. That's heartbreaking. That's terrible. Fellow was found safe. Jermaine found safe. Safe. Here we go. We're on a roll here. Awesome. Amazing. Found. All right. Missing Cassandra Stinger. She's missing. She was last seen August 8th, 2020. She's 43 years old when she went missing, 5'2" and 175 pounds. Cassandra last lost contact with her family on August 8th, 2020 during a phone call. Since then, she has not been seen or heard from since. She has no updated address and her Pennsylvania driver's license to a Philadelphia address where she stayed for just a short time. If you have any information about Cassandra, please contact the police department at 215-257-6876. Samantha's found safe. Missing David Horn Jr. He's missing from Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania. Last seen December 25th of 2017. He is 35 years old. He was 35 years old at the time of his disappearance. He was a 5'11", 185 pounds. David Horn Jr. was last seen on Connolly's Pub, located in the 900th block of Market Street on Marcus Hook, Pennsylvania, between 7 and 7:30 p.m. on December 25th, 2017. He called for an Uber, but the ride was later canceled for unknown reasons. He has not been heard from since. At the time of his disappearance, Horn was living alone with his late grandmother's home on Price Street. He had told his family he wouldn't be spending Christmas with them and had planned to travel to Las Vegas after the holiday. So they were not initially concerned. On January 5th, 2018, Horn's father visited the home. He found Horn struck in the driveway and the house empty. Inside, the lights, the fan, and television were on, and Horn's unused plane ticket to Las Vegas was found along with several empty vodka bottles. There was no sign of Horn. There has been no activity on his bank accounts or phone since Christmas of 2017. His case remains unsolved. If you have any information about David Horn Jr., please contact their police department at 610-494-7399. We have Jason. Jason is missing also from California. He's been missing since October 11th, 2006. He was 33 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'5" and weighed 140 pounds. He was last seen in the area, 20 block of Some Night Court in Orgo, California. At that time, he was splitting his living arrangements between friends and a trailer park on Olive Highway near the Gold Country Casino, where he shared a residence with his roommate. On the day of his disappearance, Earthall and his roommate were involved in a physical altercation following the incident. Earthall left the scene on foot and was never seen or heard from again. He left his wallet and his identification behind at the trailer park. About 2 weeks later, Earthall's roommate passed away from a drug overdose. Since Earthall's disappearance, there have been no instances where his name or his date of birth appeared on the National Firearms Clearance System, suggesting that either he or someone using his identity has attempted to purchase firearms. His case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. If you have any information about Jason, please contact their police department at 530-538-7321. We have Raymond. He's missing from Columbus, Georgia. Last seen January 7th, 2013. He was 32 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'6", and he weighed 130 pounds. It says Atkins was last seen in Columbus, Georgia on January 1st. He left his sister's home to visit his girlfriend, who lived 35 miles away in Buena Vista, Georgia. According to his girlfriend's stepfather, he provided Atkins with a ride back to Columbus on January 7th, dropping him off near his residence in the Eldon subdivision. However, Atkins never arrived home and has not been heard from since. At the time of his disappearance, Adkins left behind his wallet and most of his belongings. Though his cellular phone was missing and has never been located, the last known activity from his phone occurred in Marion County, where his girlfriend resides. Adkins did not have a vehicle at the time, and his case remains unsolved. If you have any information about Raymond, please contact the Columbus Police Department at 706-653-3205. We have Emma. Emma's missing from Gary, Indiana. Last seen October 10th, 2024. She's 25 years old, 5'3", 136 pounds. Emma Baum was last seen October 10th, 2024 in Gary, Indiana. She is pregnant and lives in Portage, Indiana, but was visiting her boyfriend in Gary, where she was last seen. When she disappeared, she was dilated and could have delivered her baby since. Police state that her boyfriend is in police custody and being held on an unrelated case. Emma is known to wear different hair pieces and wigs, but is naturally brunette. If you have any information about Emma, please contact the Gary Police Department, 219-881-1300. Come over here, I'll check chat real quick. Thank you for joining me, the Astro from Space. I think you guys are always just so well behaved. I don't even have to look at chat. All right. Madison Rich is missing from Seattle, Washington. Last seen January 24th, 2025. She's 15 years old and 5'3". She left her home in the South Park neighborhood on Friday around 5 a.m. and has not been seen since. She has her cat named Tortoro with her. If you have any information about Madison, please contact King County Sheriff just by dialing 911. We have Kenneth. Kenneth is missing from Hagerstown, Maryland. Last seen January 2025. He's 74 years old. Aw. He utilizes a wheelchair and he was last seen in the area of Professional Boulevard. If you have any information or you think you may have seen Kenneth, please take a good look. I'm sure he's scared. If he's out and about, he is scared. So please keep an eye out if you're in this area, this Hagerstown, Maryland. Just keep an eye out. I mean, obviously he's wheelchair bound. Just if you see him, please contact their police department at 240-313-4345. Mateo found safe. Analia McDonald's missing from North Providence, Rhode Island, last seen January 24th, 2025. She's 15 years old, and that is all the information I have on her, just that she has been missing since January 24th, 2025. If you have any information about her, please contact their police department at 401-233-1433. Found safe. Barry is missing from Illinois. He was last seen March 24th, 2020. At that time, he was 65 years old, 5'8", and weighed 190 pounds. He was last seen leaving his wife's home. And hold on, that's kind of weird wording. He was last seen leaving his wife's home in Deerfield around 7 a.m. on March 24th, 2020, telling his wife he was heading to work to meet with a client later that day. The last known contact with Bochez occurred via telephone at 11:55 p.m. on March 24th. His car was later found abandoned on the side street, but there were no signs of him near the vehicle. According to the sheriff's office, Bochez law office is located in the 400th block of Grand Avenue. He was last seen wearing blue jeans and a black hooded sweatshirt with red lettering. It was also reported he had made contact with friends and acquaintances around the same time of his disappearance. If you have any information about Barry, please contact the Lake County Sheriff's Office at 847-377-4000. We have Angela Diaz. She's missing from Houston, Texas. She was last seen June 30th, 2024. It looks like she was wearing a red dress. Her middle name is Marisol, which is the name she goes by. If you have any information about Angela, please contact the Houston Police Department at 832-394-1840. Next, we have Jesse. Jesse is missing from Hawaii. Last seen March 24th, 2008. He was 22 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'6", and at that time he weighed 185 pounds. See if I can go up here. Okay. He traveled from his home in Utah to Hawaii for vacation, renting an apartment. He stayed in regular contact with his family via phone, with the last conversation occurring on March 24th, 2008. During this call, he did mention planning one last hike before returning home for a family event. He has not been seen from since, and after his disappearance, another hiker discovered Pignar's abandoned campsite in Kaluna Valley, about 5 miles from the trailhead. His personal belongings, including clothing, camping gear, and an iPod, were left behind, but his wallet, phone, cash, and backpack were missing. The trail is known for its dangerous terrain and weather conditions, requiring the most rescues of any trail, with over 100 fatalities. Pingar was familiar with the trail, having hiked it several times before. If you have any information, please contact their police department at 808-241-1711. Yeah, I agree, Wisdom. That is odd. This one's odd. This is not a odd one. George James is missing from Montgomery, Alabama. Last seen November 23rd, 1998. He was 22 years old at the time of his disappearance, 6'1", and he weighed 170 pounds. George was last seen in Alabama on November 23rd, 1998. Following a disagreement with his mother, he left her home angry and has not been seen from since. At the time of his disappearance, George was reportedly carrying between $6,000 and $14,000 in cash. Okay. The money was allegedly given to him by a married girlfriend to help him relocate and start a new life. In March 1999, his vehicle was located abandoned on Interstate 65 near Evergreen, Alabama, approximately 80 miles from his mother's home. George has brown hair and blue eyes and may use the last name Conquest. He is known by the nickname Caesar. He has several tattoos, including a lighthouse on his chest, a skull on the right side of his neck, the word brick on his right arm, and the name Robin on the underside of his right forearm. If you have any information about George, please contact the Montgomery Police Department at 334 625 2651. Next, we have James. James is missing from Wisconsin. He was last seen November 4th, 2018. He was 28 years old at the time of his disappearance, 5'7", and he weighed 170 pounds. He was last seen walking alone on Water Street in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Surveillance footage captured him at approximately 1:13 a.m., heading east behind the Pickle Tavern toward a bike trail. He had been celebrating a friend's birthday at Shenanigans and the Pioneer Bear. Oh, doesn't that sound like a fun place? Shenanigans and the Pioneer Bear. When he attempted to enter the Pickle Tavern later that night, he was turned away by the bouncer for being too intoxicated. He has not been seen or heard from since. He is a U.S. Army veteran who served in Afghanistan. At the time of his disappearance, he was pursuing an engineering degree at the University of Wisconsin Stout. His case remains unsolved. If you have any information about him, please contact their police department at 715-839-4972. All right, guys. Do we have any questions? Anything at all? I'm sorry if I missed talking to anyone in chat. I hate if I missed anyone I didn't mean to. I just can't keep up yet. I'm not that good. Nothing? Okay, guys. Well, I can't thank you enough for joining me this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. It means the world to me. I didn't even expect to hold 5 people in this chat, and there's 13 right now. So thank you to each and every one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'm just going to end this. And I think Dago will probably be live after me. And yes, please go sub up to Arctic Fox. We've got, and of course, Dago. We have Timmy's Legacy. Love you, Barb. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. And then, Dago, are you going live next so that they know where to go, or will yours be later? He may already be gone. He might already be gone. But usually he does kind of go live after I do. So just be on the lookout for Dago to go live soon at some point today, I think. And I will go ahead and we'll end this. Thank you guys for being here. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Does anyone understand? Does anyone lend a hand? When the silence starts to bite, will you join me in this fight? Can you see them in your dreams? Can you hear their desperate screams? A heartbeat lost in the night. Oh, will you help me be their voice? In the darkness let's rejoice, 'cause together we